Harvard graduates may now want to be less forthcoming about where they got their degrees. This is a suggestion by a recent New York Times article that says there's currently a swelling populist resentment for exclusivity and wealth. Although he's a rich businessman himself, Donald Trump was able to tap into this sentiment, becoming the voice of the anti-establishment during his campaign. Joining me now is Rich Benjamin, who's a political commentator and the author of the book Searching for Whitopia. Rich, thanks so much for being here. Tell me, in your opinion, is this a thing? Is there really a real resentment against the elite in the United States?
I think it's very much a thing, Ben. It was an interesting article that pointed out that Harvard's reputation is a little bit tarnished, and we're in an anti-intellectual, anti-elite sentiment across this country that's ironically been falsely perpetrated by a billionaire who's gone to an Ivy League school and who's sent his kids to Ivy League schools.
Well, let's talk nuts and bolts, though. What could the impact be of this sentiment?
I think it's a devastating sentiment in its hypocrisy, in the sense that Trump has successfully talked against the media, he's talked against expertise, he's talked against information collecting, and this has a corrosive effect where people start to distrust the media. And it's not only that people distrust the media, but we're at a new level of disinformation in this country where he is also spreading fake news. His surrogates are spreading fake news. So it's a horrible state of affairs.
Now, we know about what he tapped into during the election campaign itself, but have things shifted since the election?
A little bit, and if anything, they've gotten worse. I think the way that he's denied the claims that Russia has hacked into computers on this end, that Russia has taken an interest to discredit our election and to influence our election. On some level, things have gotten worse in that sense. And they've also gotten worse in the sense of his cabinet pecs, because we, as you know, rely on information in terms of collecting the Census Bureau, in terms of collecting information with the CIA and keeping us safe. All sorts of departments require that we accurately collect information in terms of climate change. But when you discredit this information, when you discredit these agencies, it's not a good thing for our long-term future.
Rich, let's drill down a little bit into Harvard itself in particular. What's leading to this sudden resentment beyond simply the Donald Trump's tapping into that vein?
I think there's a sense that Harvard in particular, but coastal elites in general, have benefited in a way that Trump supporters have not, in the way the economy is folding. And of course, our sitting president is an alumni of Harvard, and I think it plays into this idea that people who have Ivy League degrees, people who are highly educated in a particular type of way, have benefited from how the economy has transformed in the last 30 years, leaving many people behind. And that's a very fair concern. And is it Harvard's fault? Of course not. But Trump has really tapped into that. And it's one thing to make a legitimate claim in inequality of education in this country. It's another thing to spread false information and to just go on this rampant anti-intellectualism, anti-knowledge, anti-science kick.